My next guest will face Joey Davis on November the 19th at Bellator 253. And of course, it is Bobby Lee back on the show. Bobby, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, man. Well, the last time we talked, it was right after you claimed the CFFC interim welterweight title, and now here you are. It'll be almost 2 months later to the day that you fought, and here you are now making your debut for Bellator. Tell me, how did this all come about, and what is the contract that you signed?
Well, I gotta say, it feels good to be an active competitor again. With 2020 being so weird, it just feels good to have a fight and get right back into fighting again. Like no lull in action at all. And then so I got a 4-fight deal with Bellator, so it feels fantastic to not only have the Bellator opportunity, but to know I'll get in there again several more times after this. So it's like, it's not that there's no pressure, but there is less pressure in knowing that it's not a one and done. It's not like this is your life on the line. If you screw this up, you're out. It's I'll get to be in there multiple times.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. And obviously, you fought for some of the biggest regional promotions in the game, CFFC, as I mentioned before, LFA. So you're no stranger to fighting at high levels of competition. This Bellator deal, and you also have one of the best managers in the game. Was it just Bellator that you were talking to, or were you maybe potentially trying to work out a deal with the UFC? Is that something that Tyson was working on as well?
He was talking to everyone, and Bellator, they were the smart guys in the room, and they signed me, and they snatched me up for 4 fights. So good on them, because they saw that I'm worth something, and on the 19th I get to prove it.
How good of a feeling is that? I mean, I know you've been waiting for that next step up in competition, and now here you are with what a lot of people feel is the second biggest promotion in the world.
Well, I think we might have touched on it with the CFFC title fight. It felt good to be even in the talks about being in a world title fight. It doesn't matter what organization it is. They were talking about me being one of two of the best fighters in the world. And now with Bellator, I mean, I'm not going to the prelims. I'm going and I'm fighting in the feature fight on the main card. And I'm fighting one of their poster childs, one of the people that they signed right out of college. They've been grooming this guy for stardom, or for being a big star. And it's not an easy fight. But what's cool is I'm his 8th opponent. So like they are 8th Bellator opponent. So they have to keep bringing in bigger and better guys. And all of a sudden now here I am. The fight after me, it's Benson Henderson in the co-main event. So I'm getting the recognition for the years that I've put in. Like just recently, 2 weeks ago, it was my 5-year anniversary of being a professional fighter. So 5 years in the game. Now here I am on the biggest stage, ready to compete against one of the guys that they want to be the next big star. But I get to stop that momentum. I get to steal all that momentum that he has. He had a fantastic collegiate wrestling career, like very, very good. He was a 4-time national champion and undefeated college wrestler. That is a great career. I'm not going to make light of any of his accomplishments. It's just like being put in the title fight. Being put in this fight with him is like it's a recognition of where I'm at in my career. They needed to get a good opponent for this guy.
For sure. I really can't wait to dive into this and get your assessment of how you match up with them. When you do look at the roster of welterweights that Bellator has, I mean, it's a deep division, man. And obviously Douglas Lima is the champion. He's pretty good. How do you feel like you stack up with the guys at the top of this division right now?
Oh, they're very, very good. I got my work cut out for me. I can't take a day off. That's for sure. I'll win this fight, and then I'll call out some easy fight like MVP or something like that, and move on from there.
How has training been? Since we last talked, I mean, has things been pretty much streamlined? I mean, I know you're pretty much staying in the gym constantly, but have you had a good camp thus far?
Yeah, no injuries. I feel fantastic. It's just this COVID stuff is some real bullshit. I haven't been able to get the bodies or very many bodies. Like my crew up in St. Cloud has been awesome. They're pushing me all the time. But like I said, with COVID, it's just there's restrictions, and it's just super unfortunate that I'm going into the biggest fight of my life, and I have like half of the training partners, and there's still people that are afraid to come into the gym. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I'm ready to move on. So I'm ready to just do what I can.
Who have been the main training partners that you've had for this specific camp?
Well, I mean, Brock's my coach, but he's also one of the best bodies that I get to work with. Joey Hart. So it's interesting that I'm fighting a Joey Davis, but Joey Hart is one of my better practice partners. He's a really good up and coming amateur. He's long and lanky, and he's got the height and the reach that I'm going to be facing next Thursday. So he's been awesome. Angel Pacheco, again, one of the most underrated fighters in Minnesota. He's got a driller belt to his name, but again, he hasn't been able to get the opportunities to prove himself because there just hasn't been as many fights. I saw some stat like that the UFC is putting on some crazy number of they're putting on most of the fights. Like, so if you're not in the UFC, you're not getting an opportunity to compete. So these guys who are just outside of the UFC or Bellator, they don't get the chance to compete this year. So that really stinks. But Angel and Joey have been awesome. Those are two of my main practice partners. But like I said, having Brock in the room is a game changer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Rocco Martin has raved about Brock, just how phenomenal of a coach that he is. So I'm sure that is exactly what that is, a game changer for you. I did want to ask you. I saw recently on social media that you had to have an MRI done. Was that just precautionary reasons, or is everything okay there?
Everything's okay. It's just it was one of the new hurdles to clear with going to a new organization. Yeah, I had to get an MRI and an EKG, and those were new, but it's like when you get to this new levels, they just want to make sure everything's all good. So everything is all good. No problems there. And I'm just ready to get on the plane tomorrow and get out east, and then it will be fight week, and that goes by it seems like it takes forever in the moment, but realistically, it just goes by in a blink.
Yeah. We'll dive into all that here shortly. Do you remember where you went to have your MRI done?
Yeah, Central Care Plaza. That was Sartell, or like St. Cloud area. Yeah.
You remember the name of the company? Is it CDI?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's where I work. I'm the outpatient supervisor for CDI in my area, Bangor, Maine, and the headquarters are in Minnesota. The best in the business, man. Next time you need an MRI, let me know. I might be able to help out in some way, shape, or form, make it a little bit more comfortable for you. I know everyone's claustrophobic. That's what I've learned since I've started there. And the wide bore MR machines that they have, it's much more comfortable for you. You don't feel like you're being buried, which a lot of people feel.
Oh, I don't know if you can be an MMA fighter and be claustrophobic, because if you're doing jujitsu and stuff, I mean, there's someone in your face. I mean, you don't have a bubble. Some people, like, you get within 3 feet of them, they get like anxious or whatever. But like jujitsu, you get rid of that claustrophobic anxiety feeling, because you have to sit still there. It wasn't bad. It was like 15 minutes of like forced meditation, and I sat more still there than I do when I try to go to sleep. So I was able to get in a pretty good headspace, and I was able to just think about the fight pretty clearly.
Very good. Well, I'm glad that whole experience went well. I also got to ask you about Kingdom. We talked a little bit about that on social media. I love that show, man, and I'm excited that they're in discussions about bringing back another season. Tell me, what do you like most about that show, and what character do you, I guess, feel like you are the most similar to?
Well, I was told to watch the show by a friend, and he said I was like Jay. So the older brother, and when I'm watching it, I'm going like, well, geez, I wonder why he thinks that I'm like him. I don't do cocaine. I don't. I'm not like that. But overall, it's a really well done show. I mean, it's a good drama. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of drugs and stuff, but and some of the training scenes just make me like want to pull my hair out, because it's like over coaching. Like they're chattering the whole time. There's never like you just sit and watch something get like unfold. but obviously that wouldn't make for good TV if, so no one's saying anything. But as far as an MMA show, it's by far the best. I mean, you could name off the top of your head, like Never Back Down. It was a cheesy movie, but when I saw that in middle school, I watched it 3 times inside of 24 hours, and I was hooked. Like, I know that was the weekend. I was like, I love MMA. So I mean, you got Never Back Down for a movie. Like, you could talk about Warrior. Was it called Warrior?
Yeah.
It was okay, but like, he's putting on the rear naked choke and like whispering in his ear while he's doing it. It was, again, cheesy, but I mean, so yeah, I'm a big fan of Kingdom. I'm in the middle of season 2, and like, that's what I'm gonna do later tonight after I get done packing. Is I'm gonna unwind and watch some Kingdom, and I'm gonna download some episodes for the flights, and that's what I'm gonna do. You say there's gonna be a season 4? Heck yeah, I'm game. I'm on board for it.
Well, once you get through season 3, and I'm sure, just if you're anything like me, once you start, you can't stop. So you'll be finishing it at some point soon. Let me know how you feel about how the 3rd season ends. I'm not going to play spoiler in any way, shape, or form. Just I want to hear your thoughts about where you're at with that, because it is a shocking twist that you don't really see coming.
Okay. Do you know anything about there being like sponsors for the show? Because you see a bunch of Under Armour, you see a bunch of Venom. I've seen Dethroned fight shorts in there. Do you know if there was like any kind of like marketing deals or anything? I don't know.
I do not know, but it wouldn't surprise me, man. They had, that show got a lot of attention, and they had some big name actors and some real mixed martial artists that were in there playing smaller roles, as I'm sure you noticed.
It's always fun to just be like, I recognize that guy.
Yeah, very cool. Now you leave for the Mohegan Sun tomorrow. Run me through what fight week is going to look like for you. Obviously, you're going to have to, do your COVID test, and you're going to have to quarantine. Have they told you how many times you're going to have to do that to be cleared to fight?
I did a COVID test Monday of this week, and as far as I know, I'm all good there. And when I get to the Mohegan Sun on Saturday, there's going to be another test. Then I'm going to have to be quarantined for like 48 hours, I think, with Brock, and then Tyson's going to be with me, so I'll be hanging out with those guys. I don't know, it'll be pretty relaxed. I mean, I just got to make weight, but it's 170, so that's super easy. The other thing about Kingdom is, like, holy crap, Jay has a great attitude with his weight cutting. Like, he just has a good demeanor, and like they did the weight cuts really well. Like, those are my favorite scenes with them in the sauna. It's just like they really got that. They nailed that. So I'm gonna have no problem making 170.
I was going to ask you what your weight is. I was going to mention to you also, I felt like Ryan was a little bit more realistic with the weight cutting, because I've actually been in the sauna with a couple of pros from my area that are cutting weight for fights. You guys aren't the happiest of bunch when you have to make that big cut. So I felt like Ryan, his crankiness made a little bit more sense. Would you agree with me?
Right. I mean, I think Jay went down to 45. They got that pretty close. But yeah, if I was going down to 55 right now, I would not be as jolly as I am right now. I wouldn't. I feel like my head is bigger. Just like I got all the fluids in me. I mean, I feel very strong. I feel very durable.
What is your weight at today?
I was like 79 this morning. Had a pretty decent practice last night. So I mean, like, it's like a tiny bit dehydrated, but I'm not cutting the 155, which, by the way, I'm game to do, and I'm most likely gonna do in the future. I mean, it kind of depends on how this goes. If I start Joey Davis, I mean, why go down? Why change it if 170 works? But like last year, I made 160 twice. I think we talked about that before. I got down to 160, no problem. So those extra 5 pounds, again, if I'm quarantined with my coaches, like all of fight week, it's gonna be no problem. So 155 is gonna be in my future, most likely, and I'll be ready for it. So it's like I'm gonna be right there competing with the best in the world at either 170 or 155.
For sure. Now, with there being no fans in attendance and you going up against an elite level wrestler here, do you feel like that's going to benefit you? Where, if you do end up on your back and you're having to, get up in some way, shape, or form, or if you're in a compromising position, do you feel like that's going to help you out with having Brock and Tyson right there to coach you through that?
Yeah, when I had the fight in September, I could hear every word Brock said, and that was really nice because Brock would say something and I would respond, I would do it. Um, like the clearest example is like push on the head and elbow, and like I did it immediately, and that opened up a cut, and it was rewarding to be coachable and to do exactly what was said when it was said. So yeah, if I get taken down, I'm gonna be able to hear Brock, but I mean, I know A, B, and C of like what to do when this happens. So the thing about no crowd is just like the nerves are just brought. I mean, it's a fight, so there's gonna be nerves, but the nerves are brought down, and you see things much clearer for what they are. It's like there isn't like just this this like tension of the crowd of the chattiness or whatever that is, but it's like no, I'll be calmer, I'll be able to see things for as they are. I messaged Jeff Peterson a little bit. Jeff Peterson fought Joey Davis, and he said just be aware of how quick this guy is, and he's he was a really good wrestler, and 4-time national champ or whatever, but like he said he was faster than he expected. So I'm gonna get a real good warm up, real good shakeout. I'm gonna have a good sweat going into it, and I'm gonna be ready to start fast.
Do you feel like you're better than him on the feet?
Yes. It's almost 100% opposite of what happened last fight. So going into my last fight, I had a tiny little cut over my eye going into it, and it was just like I didn't want to have extended exchanges on the feet. And I really felt like I could out-grapple the guy, and I 100% did. I controlled every grappling exchange with like almost no problem. So this is almost the opposite of that. It's like this guy I know is a phenomenal grappler. So it's like I know going into the fight I want to strike way more. So it's crazy how MMA is like you can from 2 months ago I was a grappler. Now this fight I'm going to come in and I'm going to be as much of a Muay Thai specialist as possible.
Yeah. Is this the toughest fight of your career so far?
Yes. Every fight, it seems like I've said it since day one of my career. Is like every fight, it gets bigger and bigger. But like, it is. I mean, last fight, yeah, it was a world title fight, but it was CFFC. This is Bellator. It's the world stage. I mean, it's CBS Sports. So yes, it absolutely is the biggest fight of my life. And the cool thing is I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm ready to put on a show and show the world what I've been working on for years now.
Is there going to be a size advantage or disadvantage here? Do you have a good idea as to how his body frame is compared to you?
He's going to be taller, a little bit longer, but he's got he's kind of like got like John Jones legs, kind of like skinny legs. So I mean, if he gets a body lock, I mean, if he's a wrestler, he's going to be real strong in there. But as far as like no, I mean, it's going to be pretty even strength wise. And like I'm not fast, but I'm quick. So it's like there's not going to be much of a speed advantage for him. He kind of throws looping strikes, like kind of wide. So just throw the straighter strikes, and I'm gonna point A to point B a little bit quicker.
So he's 7-0. He has 5 finishes. I watched a previous interview of him for this fight with James Lynch, and he said that he feels he's going to smash you. That was the words that he said. How do you feel? How do you see this fight shaking out? Do you feel like you'll be able to submit him, knock him out, or is this going to be one of those fights where you might have to grind and win a decision?
I'm going to have to take things as they come on fight night. I can have whatever like expectations for what I want to do, whether it's like everyone wants a first round finish. They want to put on the best show possible. What I'm thinking is like he said, he thinks he's gonna smash me, and he's got all these wins over the past couple of years. Like he's only lost like one wrestling match in the past 5 years or whatever. Alex Derringer or something, like beat the streets. So he's very confident. He feels like he's gonna win. But what he's maybe not expecting is the fight of his life. I'm going into this expecting to get some stitches. Like, I'm expecting to get punched. I'm expecting to have to work my ass off for this victory. So I'm ready for a war.
All right. Well, I think that's the perfect answer right there. You're going in there knowing you have a tough fight, and you're going to bring your A game, which is, I'm sure, what everyone is expecting in your corner. As far as what is next, as far as time frame goes, if you're healthy, are you hoping to jump right back in there soon, or are you going to maybe take a little bit of time, have some cheat days throughout the holidays, and then maybe jump back in early 2021?
It'd be dependent on how things go. But like I said, coming off of this win 2 months ago, it just feels good to be an active competitor. I'm gonna be 25 in a couple months, and it's like, well, I'm not getting any younger, and it is a young man's sport. So why would I take an extended break if I don't need one? So I mean, that's what 2020 was like. It was a forced vacation. So I mean, I got my break. I'm ready to just keep the momentum going.
Awesome. Well, again, Bobby Lee will face Joey Davis November the 19th at Bellator 253 at the Mohegan Sun Casino, and you guys can watch it on CBS Sports Network. Make sure you download that app and catch this awesome welterweight fight. Bobby, as always, I appreciate the time, my friend. Before I let you go, any sponsors you have or any social media you want to plug? The floor is yours.
Hey, I want to shout out to Dethrone. They've been with me for a very long time, and they're going to be with me next Thursday night. So I've been staying ready, and they're sticking with me. Huge shout out to the St. Cloud teammates at Start BJJ Academy for grinding over these last couple of months. And a huge shout out to Brock. He's the best coach in the world, and I'm just ready to compete. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity. So huge thank you to Bellator, and I cannot wait to put on a show for you guys. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great rest of your evening.